Ultimate Fighter fight. Dana told me after that fight, he said, win 2 more fights and I'll bring you back to the UFC. I'm like, okay, great. Won 2 more fights. Didn't get the offer to the UFC. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to take another fight, get a quick payday, and then he'll take me back. So I was fighting this guy who's like 8-5 or 8-4 from Canada. A big, pretty good striker, but I'm like, I'm going to run through this guy. Went up there to Montana, expecting it to be a great weekend. I was the best man. I was supposed to be the best man in my best friend's wedding the day after, picturing this great weekend. And I go up there, first punch of the fight, bing, he turned my head sideways, and it broke my jaw.
Yeah.
And I'm facing this guy, and I'm like, fuck, is there something wrong? I can't shut my mouth, and something really hurts. So I was like, I got to try to finish him. So I tried to finish him, couldn't finish him. That fight ended, and I just had my jaw hanging. We went to the ER, and they said the surgeon's not in town, and it's Friday night. They said he won't be in town till Monday. So I'm like, I can't go home like this. My fucking jaw's hanging off. He's like, sorry, well, I don't know what you want me to do. We can keep you here till Monday. I was like, fuck. So I went back to the hotel. We drove to another city. Monday, got in. My jaw was already starting to grow back together, so they had to break it up.
Oh, man.
Do a pretty major surgery. And he's like, fuck, that doctor should have never sent you home. So that was a pretty rough 3 days. And then I was just like heartbroken. I was like, fuck, dude. I just broke my fucking face. And now I'm coming off a loss. And I was just like super, super sad. But I was like, there's only 2 options. I can just mope about it, or I can just try to make best of it. So I really started to read those Tools of Titans and Tim Ferriss. And that's when I really started to get into Tim Ferriss, and then really started getting into Stoicism and stuff and researching it. I'm like, holy shit. And once I started doing all that stuff, I realized there's just so much more than just this little bubble of fighting that I've been living in for all these years. And there's just so many more areas to grow. And after that, me breaking my jaw and going through all that and not being able to eat for like 2 months and just having my jaw wired and having to sit in a house by myself because Mariah would be gone, and I'd just be in my house by myself, jaw wired shut, reading some Tim Ferriss or watching YouTube videos about Stoicism. And that's when I really started to kind of get on that growth path. I think that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
And seeing that, and then I was like, fuck, Sean, you got to check out Stoicism, dude. Trust me, you got to check it out. And then